Hey, my handsome ladies and gentlemen, this is Shmeaty. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you are new. Speaking of welcome to Season 22 of Go Battle League, the Might and Mastery Edition. And we're going to be taking a look today at a team our good friend Potato made for the Open Great League in this particular rotation, featuring probably one of the best Pokemon in the new season, of course, Shadow Weezing. Now, if you guys have been keeping your eyes close on the new season's meta, you'll know Shadow Galarian Weezing is not to be slept on whatsoever. Potato's pairing it with the tried and true Malamar Diggersby core, and we're going to take a look to see how it performs today. We're going to be kicking things off with game number 1, Malamar into Wigglytuff. This Pokemon is way too common and way too threatening to our Malamar for us to stay in, so we're going to safe switch immediately into Shadow G-ZING. Shadow G-ZING met with a Jellicent of all things. Now, Jellicent has been buffed, but that buff is not enough to save it in this matchup. Brutal Swing number 1 does like 60%. The poor Jellicent is crumbling in the face of the Shadow G-ZING. There is absolutely no way for them to maintain switch advantage here. So if they misclick their Jellicent here, you might as well just call it and just let your Jellicent go down. They're going to get both shields from us, but we're going to get a whole massive amount of energy. Getting the back-to-back Brutal Swings here, they cannot shield. If they shield, Jellicent's going down anyway. In comes the Drifblim. Oh, this trainer is weak to Shadow G-ZING. There's actually no way. Sir, do you know what season you're playing in? I'm sorry, Grandpa, this isn't Season 21. Brutal Swing lands onto the Drifblim, nearly doing about 60%. In comes the Wigglytuff. Oh, and Wigglytuff did not appreciate that very much whatsoever. Oh my goodness, Shadow G-ZING nearly 1v3's an entire team, and we're only on game 1 of the video. The Icy Wind from the Wigglytuff connects, but it's just not gonna matter. In comes the Drifblim, and that's a very sad Drifblim. GG's. Getting into the next game, what a terrible lead. Another Fairy type. Malamar leading into Togetic. Togetic is now on the buffed Psyshock, so it is going to be a little more common this season. I'm going to go ahead and say it's probably not the best thing ever. We're firing off the Brutal Swing. Brutal Swing lands onto a Grumpig. Grumpig takes big damage from the Brutal Swing, and we are at the back-to-back. This is why this Pokemon is so threatening. You think that you're okay to switch in another Pokemon, and we just have triple Brutal Swings. What is the Grumpig's decision here? Are they just going to give up switch? It looks like it. They're going to fire off a move here. G-ZING very happy to commit a shield. Why would we not? They go for the dynamic punch bait. Honestly, that probably would have put us in Psywave downrange. They catch our Brutal Swing onto their Togetic. And if we don't have enough residual to outpace this Togetic, this could get a little dicey. Unfortunately, Togetic is going to be able to outpace. And now, we're left with a Diggersby and a Malamar up against the Togetic. Let's see how this is going to play out. Unfortunately, we don't have Hyper Beam. They're going to fire off a move. And Diggersby is going to be able to tank this no problem. It's going to be the Dazzling Gleam. Dazzling Gleam hits pretty hard onto something like a Diggersby. Togetic is going to be met with a Fire Punch. Unfortunately, Diggersby is super fraudulent when up against flying types, especially those that do not take super effective from a Fire Punch. Dazzling Gleam connects. In comes the Malamar looking to get some farm. And now it's going to be the Grumpig coming back in. Grumpig going for what's likely a dynamic punch here, but I think they're going to be able to get farm down here. It's going to be close. We get the farm down. Oh no. Grumpig, what have you done? What has this trainer done to themselves? They're thinking about it. What are they going to bring in? It's going to be a Jellicent in the back. A Jellicent with no shields, no hope. Foul play, big damage onto the Jellicent. Another foul play, going to be another big damage onto the Jellicent. And this Jellicent should soon be going down here. 2 Sideways will do the trick. In comes the Togetic, but it's just not healthy enough. GG's. Alright, getting into our next game, it's going to be Malamar leading into a Morpeko. Jeez, these leads are not getting very much better for our Malamar, are they? We're going to switch out into the G-ZING, and the Morpeko's staying in, likely to try to throw a move at us, but if they're going to allow us to fire off this Brutal Swing to regain a even pacing, might as well go for it. They're going to fire off a move here, very likely to just be a Psychic Fangs, actually full send the Aura Wheel, wanting this G-ZING gone very obviously. And now, because they went for the Aura Wheel right away, we're going to be able to go for the Brutal Swing here. They're also still not Psychic Fangsing. I'm pretty sure from this range, Psychic Fangs might just KO at +1. I'm going to be very honest, G-ZING, not the bulkiest thing ever, and it's also Shadow. Morpeko goes down, in comes a Superior, so this trainer had no answer to G-ZING once again. How is a Pokemon this good, core breaking so many teams? Sludge onto the Superior, is going to have to grab a shield from the Superior. They're going to fire off a move here, but anything short of a Frenzy Plant will not KO. The Frenzy Plant does unfortunately pick up the knockout, and now it's going to be Diggersby met with the Wigglytuff. Fortunately, switch advantage is ours, so our Malamar gets to stay well away from this Wigglytuff, and we're going to fire off this Scorching Sands. Scorching Sands onto the Wiggly. We've seen this matchup play out a couple times over the past couple seasons. Wigglytuff can cope if it really, really wants to. The Icy Wind is not going to save it. Another Scorching Sands is reached. Scorching Sands now onto the Wigglytuff number 2. This is going to do a sizable chunk of the remaining HP. We're looking to pivot, and it's a simultaneous KO. In comes the Superior. Superior is a little bit problematic with the speed that it paces to these Frenzy Plants, but Malamar's pacing is strictly better. It is 665 to the first, first 3 Frenzy Plants, but we have straight 10 pacing, 10 turns, and we're going to be able to outpace the Superior, reaching for that superpower onto the Superior. That's going to be a GG. Getting into the next game, it's going to be Malamar leading into a Diggersby. Finally something reminiscent of a good lead. We have had nothing but bad lead luck all day, and it's going to be a Drapion, Shadow Drapion greeting our Malamar. We're just going to go straight for the superpower, as we will outpace as they switched instantaneously, and Drapion eats the superpower. In comes our Diggersby, and we're okay with going ahead and letting these 2 Aqua Tails go. Unfortunately, I'm not quite sure if we're going to be able to get the farm down here. It'll be close. We're going to reach for it, but realizing that we're not going to be able to get it and would have to take a 3rd Aqua Tail, we're going to at least force a shield or get the KO on the Drapion there. They're going to bring in their own Diggersby, and fortunately, with switch advantage being ours, this can stay well away from our Galarian weezing. We are going to fire off the Scorching Sands. Very boring matchup. At least it's not as boring as the Lickitung mirror from ages ago. Lickitung is a little washed now. I'm just yapping. Back in comes our Malamar. Malamar is going to be able to absorb a move here, so Potato is going to smartly no shield. Scorching Sands connects, does some fat damage, gets the debuff. Not the best situation. And in the back, it's going to be a Shadow Sableye. Sableye is very, very buffed this season. Sableye, oh, that Brutal Swing damage is definitely brutal if ever I've seen something like it. Everything it can throw shy of a Power Gem is going to be resisted. Dazzling Gleam does a lot of damage, but we are going to be able to nearly pick up the knockout with just the Fairy Wind down alone, but we're going to fire off the Brutal Swing. We get another Brutal Swing, and that should very well solidify this game. Brutal Swing onto the Diggersby. We're looking for the Psywave down at this point, as it would have to be a triple up on moves from either side in order to get a KO with charge moves, as there are 4 shields remaining in play. Now 3 shields remaining in play. Potato goes for the farm down, gets it, and that's a good game. And into the next game, who's going to be next? Who's going to face the wrath of Malamar lead? Absolutely never mind. Morpeko on lead. Malamar is allergic to picking up a good lead. Unfortunately, it would seem we are going to safe switch into the Shadow G-ZING. G-ZING is going to no shield, as that was just going to be a Psychic Fangs. Psychic Fangs, massive damage onto the G-ZING. In comes a Claydol, and with these Mud Slaps being boosted because we are debuffed, we're in a pretty tough spot. We reach for the second Brutal Swing, not going to be able to get it. It wouldn't have KO'd anyway, but that damage would have certainly been nice. We're going to bring in our Malamar here, as we do have the super effective Foul Place. Unfortunately, our Psy Waves are resisted. They're going to fire off a move. Claydol is now another one of those degen debuffing on 15 turns Pokemon. I'm looking at you, Dugong. We're going to fire off a Foul Play at the Claydol. Claydol, what is its response? Are they going to want to shield up here? They are not. And now, we're going to put up a shield on our Malamar. I don't particularly hate this, saving it or potentially something later, and this energy will go far into that Morpeko when it comes back onto the field. Here, I think we're always just going to switch so that we don't get Thundershock down for free, and that is indeed what's going to happen. They're going to be able to reach Psychic Fangs here, but they're only going to fire off a Psychic Fangs. You would never Electric Aura Wheel a Diggersby unless you're really committed to the BM. We're going to fire off a Scorching Sands here. It lands, and they catch it onto a Grumpig, but Grumpig not going to absolutely be the most comfortable tanking that damage. Is Grumpig relatively bulky? It has some fine bulk to it, but it's not anything to write home about. So that Scorching Sand chip is going to be pretty nice. We are going to see the Dynamic Punch is going to get shielded by the Diggersby. We go for the Scorching Sands, reaching for the foul play, and you are never Psy-waving down a Malamar, so the foul play is reached with ease. Foul play going to be more than enough to take out the Grumpig. In comes Morpeko. We're reaching for the superpower and fall one turn short of making it, and unfortunately that farm down is going to allow this Morpeko to have an opportunity to double up on both Psychic Fangs and the Dark type Aura Wheel. That's going to be a good game. Well played to the opponent. Getting into the next match. Alright, it's going to be Malamar into Furret. Okay. Definitely not the worst lead we've seen in today's video. We can hit this for super effective damage. Potato going to build up just a little bit past the initial foul play. Fire off the foul play bait, as we don't want to debuff ourselves immediately in this matchup, as this is probably our best answer to the Furret, kind of. We don't really want to take Swifts on Galarian Weezing, and we don't really want to take Trailblazes, especially not when they're boosted on our Diggersby. So this is probably the cleanest way we can deal with it. Grabbing both of their shields, switching out into the G-ZING. They're going to fire off a Trailblaze, and now they're going to switch into Corviknight. Corviknight, what a Pokemon this is. What a trip. Everybody was afraid, absolutely terrified when this was released, that it was going to be the most busted meta Pokemon to ever exist, and it got absolutely shafted because the community cannot stop complaining about Pokemon being good. You guys remember how Clodsire was supposed to be the god when it first came out, and then everyone complained and then it disappeared? Yeah, that was fun. Anyway, we're going to get the farm down with the G-ZING. In comes Lapras, but Lapras is so behind on energy. We're at the back-to-back sludges. How much does the back-to-back sludge do onto the Lapras, I wonder? Nearly all of the Lapras. Oh my goodness. What is this move? What is this Pokemon? So as to not get Psy-Wave down, we would have liked to be able to switch there. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen. They're going to be able to fire off the Sparkling Aria here. But Sparkling Aria would not KO. We're going to put up a shield because they probably make two. In comes the Furret. This Trailblaze would be less impactful damage than the stab Sparkling Aria. We're not going to try to mess about, take any more damage. We're just going to go for the kill shot. Scorching Sands onto the Furret is enough to KO. Down goes the Furret. Down goes the Lapras. GG's. Alright, Malamar is going to lead into a Wigglytuff. Are you kidding me, dude? What were these trainers seeing that there was this much hard Malamar countering going on in today's video? We safe switch into our Diggersby because we kind of have to, and they are going to meet us with a Claydol. Good thing we did not bring in the G-ZING here, as we would have gotten absolutely torn to pieces by the Mudslaps here. Claydol is going to get hit with a Scorching Sands, fire off a Scorching Sands of their own, and now we're at our next Scorching Sands. Claydol forced to shield up. Now they're going to be able to reach their Scorching Sands just a little bit quicker than we are. Scorching Sands, how many times am I going to say that in the remainder of this battle? Hopefully none. We're going to go for the SS here, as we'll call it. I'm tired of saying that full move's name. It gets the shield. No debuff on either side is interesting. We're going to bring in the Malamar, looking for that very aggressive Psy-Wave farm down, because all of this energy at 4 energy per turn is going to be very useful. We leave with a move loaded. This is going to be, what an amazing game this is turning out to be. It's going to be a Cradily in the back. And oh no, Cradily, you've got your work cut out for you to get through this Pokemon. They're going to be able to reach one Rock Tomb, lower our attack, but that's okay by us. we're just going to let this go. The Rock Tomb is going to do a solid amount of damage. We have to let one go anyway because we're looking for maximum overfarm here, and I don't believe the Sludge is going to be enough to KO the Cradily after the debuff. Unfortunately, they are just able to hang on. We're going to put up our shield here, as when is Wigglytuff ever going to be able to make a move in this situation? Sludge, even debuff. Let's see that damage. I want to see this Pokemon disappear. It does more than half of the Wigglytuff's HP, even debuffed. We're switching in the Malamar. Malamar gets the superpower. Cradily comes back in just to get Psywave down. GG's. We've made it to the final game of the video, and miraculously, Malamar does not lose lead immediately. This is okay for us. Superior on lead. I'm pretty sure Superior can get away with the W in this lead in most situations. Just off sheer merit of Frenzy Plant being a disgustingly cracked move. Frenzy Plant is going to be shielded by the Malamar. We're approaching the back-to-back foul plays here. We're going to fire off foul play number 1, Superior shields, and we are going to fire off foul play number 2. Superior maybe seeing ghosts of a potential Hyper Beam there, really not trying to no-shield that. They are going to be able to reach another move here, but Malamar is outside of Frenzy Plant range, so you're going to see Potato go for the no-shield and reach for the last-second move, firing off the Superpower here. Superpower is going to land onto the Superior. Down goes Superior, and Malamar wins the one-shield, so that's pretty interesting. They bring in a Togetic, but Togetic not going to be having a particularly nice time now that we have switch advantage. They're going to fire off a move. It's just going to be the Psy Shock. And although it does a lot of damage and is super effective, Potato's going to no-shield. And why is that? Because we're outside of Fairy Wind down range, of course. Firing off the Sludge. Sludge grabs the shield from the Togetic. And Togetic is going to be able to make a Psy Shock here. But now we just put up our shield. This is easy money. And now they're not switching. They switch, make the Soul Read catch onto their Jellicent. What a play. Oh my goodness, the Sludge is going to be caught onto Jellicent. We're looking to bank some energy, bring in the Diggersby, because this is probably where it is going to be the most impactful. Unfortunately, full second the Diggersby is where it's going to be most impactful. We're going to reach for the Scorching Sands. Scorching Sands hopefully is going to put this Jellicent in range. I mean, it's already pretty much in range where a Brutal Swing will KO, but just to ensure that fact, they overfarm just a little bit too much. But unfortunately, they are going to be able to reach the back-to-back Surf. Surf number 1, big damage, and Diggersby's continuing to farm. That new pacing on the Jellicent. Surf is going to get the KO. We're looking to fire off 2 Fairy Winds to maximize the amount of Fairy Winds we can get without taking 2 Hexes worth of damage. Are we going to be able to reach the last second Sludge? No, we just get Fairy Wind down. What a game. GG's. If you made it to this point in the video, thank you so much for watching. It really means a lot to me. And thank you so much, Potato, for the battle submission. Now, with all that being said, Shadow G-ZING with the newly buffed Sludge is an insane Pokemon. The coverage it has, the speed at which it gets to devastating damage, it's just insane. However, this Pokemon is incredibly inaccessible. If you started playing last season or didn't play for a week time span when this was available, I believe about maybe 2 seasons ago, you don't have access to Shadow Galarian weezing, and I don't think that's very good. What I would recommend for now is to battle the poison type grunt that says coiled and ready to strike as her encounter quote. You want to be grinding this female grunt, I probably could have worded that better, to make sure that you're getting as many shadow coughing encounters as you can. Having a good one of these will be very important, and seeing that it's going to be pretty important in both the Open Great League and probably Open Ultra League metas as well. It's already good in the Ultra League as it stands. I see there's a little bit of incentive for Niantic to make an event where it does come back. There is no guarantee of it, but you want to prepare yourself in the instance that they do. With all that being said, I've been Shmeaty. Thanks once again so much for watching. I hope to see you guys again next time, and have a good rest of your day. Bye.